The film opens with brief shots of a ravaged Earth. 10 years prior, a solar flare damaged the ozone layer, causing temperatures to soar to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Earth has become an inhospitable wasteland, scorched by UV radiation and prone to catastrophic weather events. Finch, one of the few survivors, is a robotics engineer equipped with a protective suit shielding him from the heat and UV rays. Like any other day, he scavenges for supplies with his robot Dewey. As he enters a store, his readings show the UV levels in the area are extremely high. Meanwhile, the robot gathers whatever is left in the store. Finch then grabs some dog food. Upon leaving, he flags the area so he can keep track of places he's already searched. In the next scene, Finch travels through a deserted city emptied by the ozone depletion. Due to the UV radiation, people can't go outside, so most of the city has been evacuated. Suddenly, Finch's suit issues a warning signal of an approaching storm. He turns the truck around and hits the gas, with a giant dust storm in hot pursuit. Luckily, he makes it to his underground lab, which formerly belonged to the company he worked for before the catastrophe. Later, we learn that Finch is suffering from radiation sickness. We also meet his dog, Goodyear. With supplies running low, Finch uses AI to upload basic instructions for his new project, how to care for the dog, how to run the house, etc. Because of his love for Goodyear, he is building a specialized robot to take care of him after he's gone. Finch conducts extensive research dedicated to UV rays and the effects of radiation. Later, he removes Dewey's eyes and attaches them to his new robot. Upon activating the robot, he begins uploading data to it. After several failed attempts at communication, the robot finally nods its head, indicating it understands what Finch is trying to convey. Finch is overjoyed with the robot's response and that he has managed to take another step forward. He also plays with his dog, believing he'll have a new friend soon. Finch then asks the robot to tell him something about itself. The robot says it has some rules, such as not harming humans. But the most important rule is that in Finch's absence, it must take care of Goodyear. Suddenly, the power goes out. Finch goes to fix the windmill. He connects the cable, and the power returns. He names the robot Jeff. Meanwhile, a giant storm appears to be heading their way. Finch returns and connects Jeff to the weather station so he can predict the weather. Jeff says that within the next 24 hours, different storms will approach them, and they won't be able to avoid them. He also predicts that the storm will last for approximately 40 days. Upon hearing this, Finch believes they must leave this place as soon as possible. He also assumes that the best option for them is San Francisco. Finch then starts building a full casing for the robot. After finishing it, Finch increases the robot's movement speed and begins teaching it to walk. After a bit of training, Jeff starts walking successfully, while Finch is happy with the progress. Goodyear is afraid of the robot and doesn't trust it. As the storm approaches, Finch starts gathering everything essential, and he also shuts down Jeff's data, which is only 72% complete. Because of this, Jeff is not fully mature and acts like a child. Finch calls Dewey to join them, but he forgets that his eyes have been removed, so he attaches a camera to him so he can see again. Then the four of them climb into the truck and begin their journey to San Francisco. At the start of their journey, Jeff displays immense curiosity, trying to understand everything Finch does and where they are headed. So far, the group has successfully avoided the storm. They then enter a deserted city. Finch puts on his protective suit and calls Jeff to join him outside. He begins teaching Jeff the basic skills of foraging, also informing him about the dangers of the sun. He tries to avoid the storm, but it eventually catches up to them. Finch runs outside with Jeff and instructs him to help secure the truck. After Finch gets tired, Jeff takes over and successfully completes the task. Finch then climbs inside the truck and secures it further. A powerful gust of wind soon arrives, and all the tie-downs start breaking one by one until only one remains. Fortunately, the storm passes, and everything is all right. Finch appreciates Jeff's good work but sadly discovers that the truck's front tire has been damaged. They have a spare tire, but they don't have a jack to lift the vehicle. However, Jeff simply lifts the car using his strength and asks Finch to change the tire. The next morning, Jeff tries to communicate with Goodyear, saying he's trying to learn dog language, but Finch wakes up and teaches him that it will take some time before he and Goodyear are on good terms. Later that day, a sign indicates that San Francisco is 2,450 kilometers away. When Jeff asks him to explain the concept of trust, Finch finds himself in a predicament, so he simply shares a story from his life. He recounts how he single-handedly solved a problem on a project by creating a program but gave credit to the entire team. This way, he managed to earn their trust. As Finch tells his story, his health deteriorates. They then enter a diner where Finch vomits blood. Realizing his time is near, Finch brings Goodyear inside the diner and starts playing with him. Meanwhile, Jeff tries to fix the truck, plays music, and attempts to drive, but due to his carelessness, he releases the handbrake, causing the truck to crash into another vehicle. When Finch confronts Jeff, the latter feigns innocence, as if the truck moved on its own. He then tries to reverse the truck and crashes it again. Angered, Finch shows Jeff what happens to his skin when exposed to sunlight. He then yells at Jeff, telling him that his only job is to take care of Goodyear. Finch decides to teach Jeff how to drive. Initially, Jeff is clumsy as usual, but he quickly learns and starts driving smoothly, which pleases Finch. At night, they stop by the roadside to set up camp, where the beautiful aurora borealis is visible due to the lack of an ozone layer. Jeff suggests driving at night, pointing out that daylight is dangerous, but Finch teaches him that night brings the danger of hungry people. In the morning, Finch vomits blood and suffers chills, so Jeff takes care of him. They then continue their journey. When they reach a large city, Jeff accompanies Goodyear to search for supplies. They find a hospital that appears looted, but Jeff doesn't realize this and continues inside. When he wakes up, he finds both robots gone. He realizes trouble awaits, so despite his extreme weakness, he dresses and sets off to search for Jeff and Dewey. Someone watches him from afar. Upstairs, Jeff happily finds food, medicine, and even a stylish jacket for himself. Meanwhile, Dewey finds some snacks but fails to notice a nearby bear trap. When he tries to reach the snacks, the bear trap tears him apart. After Finch finds him, saddened, he apologizes and shuts down Dewey, who wasn't his favorite anyway. Soon, Finch hears a noise and finds Jeff. Finch insists they can't stay in this place because it's unsafe, so they flee together, but Finch can barely stand. They reach their truck and leave immediately, but a car starts chasing them. After driving some distance, Finch hands the steering wheel to Jeff and tells him not to make any mistakes. He also notices that the car is still pursuing them. They turn off the headlights because Jeff can see in the dark. As the mysterious car continues to chase them, Finch advises Jeff to press the accelerator and speed up. When they enter a storm, Finch grabs the steering wheel and drives the vehicle off-road. He intends to use a tunnel, despite Jeff's desperate attempts to explain that the truck's height is greater than the tunnel's height. Finch doesn't listen, so the vehicle crashes, and the solar panels are destroyed. After the accident, Jeff uses his strength to push the truck into the tunnel. The pursuing car stops momentarily and then leaves. After making sure the people are gone, Finch gets out and discovers that all the solar panels are damaged. He blames himself for his unwise actions and says he can no longer fix anything. Jeff tries to calm him down, saying he can take them to San Francisco, but Finch snaps at him and tells him to be quiet, then returns to the vehicle while Jeff remains outside in the rain. After a short reflection, Jeff enters and tells Finch he thinks they'll make it to the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Meanwhile, Finch shares another story, explaining his distrust of people and how he found Goodyear in a suitcase. He says the drug Avila can turn any good person into a killer, but it turned him into a coward because he hid while some young men killed a girl and her mother in a supermarket. The next morning, they see a road sign indicating San Francisco is 480 miles away. Jeff sits behind the wheel while the weakened Finch rests. Suddenly, Jeff notices a butterfly on the windshield. He pulls over, wakes Finch, and shows him the butterfly. Finch gets up and holds his hand in the sun, but he doesn't feel any burning. He then steps outside and feels the sunlight. The UV radiation has decreased to the point where it's no longer a threat. It seems like a miracle. He sees a flower and another butterfly and laughs from the bottom of his heart. They continue their journey through flowering plains. Later, Finch gets dressed, and they decide to take a walk in the sunshine, something he hasn't done in over 10 years. Finch then shares memories from the past and dreams of doing more in life. Upon hearing this, Jeff excitedly gets up and explains that if they leave now, they'll reach the Golden Gate Bridge in roughly 18 hours. But Finch says he won't make it. Saddened, Jeff promises to take care of Goodyear. Finch brings Goodyear over, and they play. He gives the ball to Jeff and explains that this is the first step in building trust with the dog. They enjoy themselves briefly, but Finch suddenly starts coughing up blood. His white protective suit turns red. When Jeff asks if he can help, Finch replies that he already has. Then he shakes Jeff's hand, and they hug. Jeff is visibly upset and appears to be struggling with intense emotions. Afterward, Jeff helps Finch into the truck where he lies down. Goodyear comforts Finch while Jeff gathers their belongings. Finch pats his friend one last time before passing away. They then cremate Finch on the plane in his protective suit, concluding their mourning period. Jeff continues Finch's daily tasks and feeds the dog. Later, they play ball again. Goodyear feels safe with Jeff and begins to change. Jeff also realizes he's now responsible for Goodyear, and they set off on their journey again. Finally, Goodyear hugs him, showing his affection. Upon reaching San Francisco, Jeff creates a memorial plaque for Finch. He finds some notes from people to loved ones with instructions on where to find them. This suggests there are other survivors. In the final scene, Jeff hangs a drawing on the fence depicting himself, Finch, and Goodyear in their new location.